I'm Fred Cunningham, and welcome to First Responder Friday on WSPA+. Every Friday on 7 News, we profile law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS, 911 operators, and many other professionals in the Carolinas who respond in times of an emergency. Let's meet some of the people who have devoted their lives to service and run towards trouble when the rest of us are trying to get out of the way. Spartanburg police officer Grace Herlichson has lived all around the world, but there's an easy way for people to track her down.
I want to speak to Officer Grace. They call me by my first name.
And gets asked for a lot.
I've worked the West Side ever since I've come out here. Pretty much half of that district has my cell phone number with the city, and I consider them to be brothers, sisters, family members, and that's how the interaction goes when I'm on scene. I believe that's the bridge to solving a lot of problems.
Officer Grace solved problems as part of the Greenville County Guardian Ad Litem program, but that wasn't enough.
I saw the shutdown that COVID had, and a lot of my children in the foster care system, we weren't able to have face-to-face visits with them. I struggled a lot with that and decided to kind of move forward into more of a frontline reporting and saw law enforcement as a catalyst to do that.
She's been with Spartanburg Police for 5 years.
I've made a rapport by spending a lot of my free time when I'm not on calls with the community.
Do you like this location better?
To me, that builds trust. So when something goes wrong in those scenarios, they know they can trust Spartanburg Police Department.
When Officer Grace isn't on patrol, you'll find her here.
I religiously am at the gym every morning at 4:30 before shift. I advocate for health, even though people bring in donuts all the time to the city. You want your police officers to be able-bodied, able-minded.
It's a message she carries into her job for the city of Spartanburg, and it's tattooed on her arm.
This is the coordinates for straight downtown Spartanburg. So you go, I go. The girls on my team had that saying for clearing a house, clearing a business, or if you're going into that building and it's unsafe, if you're running into that school, I'm right behind you. I love working here. If I don't know something, my supervisor does. She's amazing. My coworkers do. So I feel like I'm in good hands being here because I know my backup is they're capable, they're able, they're experienced, and they care for the city.
Harrisons are our partners on First Responder Friday. Kevin Harrison is here.
Hey Grace, thank you so much for what you guys do. This is home for us, Spartanburg is, and you guys are out on the beat keeping everybody safe. We just, on behalf of all the Harrison stores and all of our community, we just want to thank you for the service and thank you for keeping us all safe. Small token of our appreciation for you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And that is First Responder Friday. By Chief Tony Watson. He is from the Pigeon Forge Fire Department, nearly 4 decades of service. First of all, thank you for being here. Tell me a little bit about your department.
Well, we're a very progressive all hazards department, about 75 members altogether. That's a combination department. I mean, we've got around 50 full-time firefighters, about 15 volunteers, and about 10 part-time. So it takes a lot to keep that going. You know, we're pretty busy because there's about 21 million visitors come through our community a year. We think about, so we always just want to service our community the best way we can, you know, and so a lot of technical hazards that we take care of, taking care of all of our visitors.
You also have something that I know we want to show everybody because it's something I know you're excited about. Still a few months from pulling all the way in there, but tell us about your new fire station.
Well, our city council and the city management entered into a real aggressive program of redoing all City Hall complex, and part of that is a new fire department headquarters and a special operations building that will house the Sevier County Ambulance Service Center. So we're really excited, state of the art. It's going to be able to help us serve our community into the future. So it's just a great feeling. It's a lot of work, but it's been a great experience.
Let me go back to one thing that you touched on just real quickly, the fact that this is an interesting department. You've got your normal town. You've got 21 million visitors. You have to deal with things in the mountains, and I'm sure you even have some lake situations.
We do. You know, we all work really close together in this Sevier County area right here to take care of those people. We work closely with Sevierville, Gatlinburg, and on all of our volunteer components of that. So it may be anything from a wildfire response to a technical rescue to just public assistance. So we're just there. We're that number that everyone wants to call or needs to call when there's something that they're not sure how to take care of. So that puts us in some very diverse situations.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do, everything your department does, and the surrounding agencies. Thanks so much for being here with us on First Responder Friday.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Chief Tony Watson from the Pigeon Forge Fire Department. Trip continues here in Flat Rock, North Carolina. It's also First Responder Friday. We are joined by Battalion Chief Matthew Hosley from Valley Hill Fire and Rescue. First of all, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You've been with this department for 22 years. You're from this area. Tell me how you got into firefighting and being a first responder.
Well, I started at an early age. My dad was a volunteer, so I kind of followed in his footsteps, and I just fell in love with it. It's a dream job that I've always wanted.
3 departments cover the village of Flat Rock. Tell me how that arrangement works and what your responsibilities are.
The village of Flat Rock, it's probably approximately 8.2 square miles. Valley Hill probably covers 2 to 3 square miles of that area. So we just work collaboratively together to make things work and make sure we get them the services that they need.
One of the things that we always like to see is that you don't want to have your vehicles go into someone's home with the lights and sirens going. You want to go there in an opportunity to help them prevent emergency situations. You've got a great education program for that.
That's right. We have a fire and life safety educator. His name's Chris McDowell, and he's a captain with our fire department. He goes out to people's homes. He does home inspections. He does smoke detector installs, and he also goes out and checks batteries and things, and he also hosts CPR classes for the community as well. So
if someone wants to get an opportunity, whether it be in Flat Rock or the rest of your district, how should they contact them?
They can call our station. It's 828-692-2581, and just ask to speak to Chris, and he'll get them set up.
That's terrific. Well, Battalion Chief Hosley, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for everything you and Valley Hill Fire and Rescue do for us.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, as our zip trip continues here in Flat Rock. As you can see, these stories are just a way for us to say thank you to the men and women who are our local first responders. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, more of the people and stories that make up First Responder Friday. Welcome back to 7 News First Responder Friday, right here on WSPA+. We'll continue now with the stories of our brave local first responders and how they serve our communities. Take a look.
Hey, sweet girl, how are you?
I always know I'm going to be greeted with a lot of smiling faces and happiness, and it makes for a good day.
Amanda Mills is the school resource officer at Clemson Elementary, and the city's police department found her a perfect home.
Most people that want to be in law enforcement, they're there for the chase and the thrill of things, and I'm more for the building a great rapport with children.
That's something Mills didn't have when she was a child.
I grew up in a not so good area in town of Anderson, so a lot of our interaction with law enforcement was kind of on the negative side.
Mills turned her life around, and her attitude about law enforcement also did a 180.
I wanted to be an officer so that I could interact with children especially and just show them that every time they have an interaction with law enforcement, it doesn't have to be in a negative way.
Mills's life includes being the mother of 3. She's now a grandmother. That's all part of what she can bring to the job, surrounded by young people.
Is that how I do it? I can tell like if they're having a bad day, and I'll usually, walk up to them and just ask them, do they want to talk about it? Or, if they don't, I'll just give them some encouragement and let them know that if they decide they want to, I'm always here to listen.
Mills has well over a decade on the job. She worked on the road for other upstate police and sheriff's offices.
I've been doing this job for a very long time, and I've used my taser one time. I'm very proud of that, because I feel like if you talk to people and you can kind of get on their level and let them know that you're there because you care, not because you're there to arrest them.
This SRO makes that happen every day, and it comes with benefits.
I get a lot of hugs,
You want hugs, don't you?
a lot of good morning, Officer Amanda. I do let them call me Officer Amanda. I feel like being on a first name basis with the younger children kind of builds a better rapport with them.
That's First Responder Friday. Trip continues on this Friday morning in Greenville. Fall for Greenville, and of course it's also First Responder Friday. We're joined this morning by Josh, Ethan, and Samuel. They are all members of Greenville City's Public Works, and they have just had an enormous job over these last 6 weeks or so since Helene. And first of all, if you can maybe put into some kind of perspective just how big of a job you guys were facing and continue to.
It's a pretty big job. I mean, Hurricane Helene did quite the number on the city, and it's just an ongoing process. You know, we've picked up roughly 314,000 cubic yards so far.
Goodness.
And the contractors are now starting their second pass through the city to get all the big wood. So it's a lot of work, and it's going to be a slow recovery, but we're getting it done.
We were talking before we started about the fact that while you're talking about a lot of down trees, you're still dealing with trees that are a potential problem that are you call leaners.
Yep, we've been going around the city, doing all the routes, just looking for those leaners, trying to get everything cleaned up.
Samuel, I think a lot of people also forget that while you're dealing with Helene, just days before that hurricane, you had a huge, severe thunderstorm that came through here and caused a lot of problems. I mean, you guys didn't need a warm-up act.
Correct. So prior to even dealing with Helene's damages, we had microbursts come in, multiple hangers.
I know you're asking everyone to be patient, but you're going to get there.
Yeah, and we're working tirelessly. You know, we're obviously Fall for Greenville's this weekend, so let's kind of take that reprieve to enjoy ourselves and stuff, and then it's right back to it on Monday to get this stuff cleaned up.
All right, well, Josh, Ethan, and Samuel, thank you for what you've done. This is an enormous fall job that I'm sure none of us were anticipating. We appreciate your efforts, and thanks for being with us this morning. Thank you, gentlemen. On this Friday morning, it's First Responder Friday. We're live in Abbeville. We're joined by Chief Chris Clemens. He is with the Abbeville Fire Department. Who's this gentleman you brought with you?
This is one of our engineers. This is Taylor Scott.
Taylor, thanks for being here along with Chief. You told me you've lived in 7 states. You've settled here in Abbeville. You've been the chief for a little while now. What do you think about Abbeville? What do you think about serving this community?
Oh, it's great. I've lived in big cities, small cities, but the feel here is very good.
You love that kind of that small town charm. Is it an everybody knows everyone's name kind of place?
Yes, it really is.
That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you deal with. And I know that you always want to make sure it's always calmer for you to go to a home to make sure they have a working smoke detector than to bring one of these big trucks with you and have the lights going in an emergency.
Yes, sir. Smoke detector saves lives, and thanks to State Fire and the Red Cross, they have a program. We've probably put in over 1,000 smoke detectors in the last few years.
Because I know you just go to too many fire scenes where they didn't have a working fire or smoke detector.
It still happens, yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I know you're making an effort there. If somebody wants to take advantage of that, what should they do?
Just give us a call at the fire department.
All right. Let's talk about the Abbeville Fire Department. Right now, you are fully staffed. That's the good news. But I know you're always looking for volunteers.
Always looking for volunteers. It's getting harder and harder to find people nowadays.
One of the reasons why I know is there's just so much training involved.
Yes, sir. To be a fireman, you need just over 200 hours of training.
So pretty much, if you want to be a volunteer firefighter, you have to go through the same thing that a full-time or a part-time professional does.
Yes, sir.
If somebody wants to be that volunteer, what should they do?
They should contact their local fire department, and they'll tell them everything they need to know.
That's terrific. Well, Chris Clemens, the fire chief here in Abbeville, thank you for being here. Thank you both for joining us this morning on our First Responder Friday.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. We're going to take a short break from our stories of these amazing heroes. Stick around for more First Responder Friday right here on WSPA+. It's a privilege and an honor to get the opportunity to bring you these stories of our local heroes, those who choose to put their lives on the line or simply choose to be there for us when we need them most. Here are some more stories from our First Responder Fridays. And of course, we are back on our zip trip to Clinton. It's also First Responder Friday, and we're joined by two of the finest here in Clinton. First of all, we've got Jackie Turner, who is an SRO, and we've also got Lisa Staten, who's a 911 dispatcher. Jackie, I want to start with you. I know that school is out right now. It's going to be back in session sooner than we really would even think about. Tell me about your job and how you interact with students across the area.
Yes, sir. At the school, I am the primary officer for keeping the kids safe, making sure the school is safe, make sure we know all of our emergency procedures, and just being there for the kids if they need anything, and for the parents also, just making sure that they have all that they need, and if they have any questions about anything law enforcement, I'm able to help them with that.
That's great. And I'm sure you've got a good relationship with kids. They're happy to see you, aren't they?
Absolutely. I love kids. They're my heart. They're my passion in law enforcement, to be able to teach them and guide them and help them make good decisions and choices. And when they make mistakes, just to sit and talk to them and make sure they understand that mistakes are made and they can improve themselves, just learn from their mistakes.
Lisa, you're a 911 dispatcher. You are the first responder. When someone needs somebody, they come to you. That must be both a rewarding but also challenging job, because you have to talk to people at their worst times.
That's true. Sometimes it can be very difficult. Sometimes it's very rewarding. We're there to support our officers. We're there to support the community. Do whatever we can, whenever we can.
Do you have difficult times from your standpoint in that you're on the other end of the phone? An officer, firefighter, EMS can get to the scene and they maybe have some resolution. Do you get resolutions to the calls you make, or do you just have to move on to the next one?
We try to do as much as we can. If we have to move on, we do. If we can stay with that one, we do. Just what we can.
Yeah, I guess I'm talking about the final result. In other words, once they get to the scene, and then you've got to move on to another call after that. Once you've got emergency people to the scene. Yeah,
absolutely. If we need to move on, we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate so much what you both do for this community, and we can't thank you enough for stopping by today.
It is an absolute honor to serve. I was in the military, was honorably discharged, and I still wanted to serve the community, and this is where I was led, and it's been a passion of mine for 30 years now.
That's terrific. And of course, you're a Clinton native as well.
Right. I've been with the city for 17 years now.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, Lisa Staten, Jackie Turner, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, that is First Responder Friday as our zip trip rolls on from Clinton. Deuce and Pork Chop showed what they can do for the Fountain Inn Police Department. They came in first and second in detecting narcotics at a recent national competition.
They're just awesome. They don't even know that they're actually doing a job. They're just out there having fun.
Pork Chop is a 9-year-old chocolate lab on the job since 2018. Deuce came to Fountain Inn PD in an interesting way.
I brought him home when I brought my daughter home from the hospital, and my wife was not excited about bringing home a puppy when we brought home a newborn. So she didn't like him at first, but I brought him in and sat him on the couch with her, and you can't help but love a puppy face. She instantly took to him, and he did too. Find it!
And Deuce started training right away.
And once he got to be maybe 4 to 6 months old, we started doing scent work and imprinting him on the different drug odors. And by the time he turned a year old, he was certified through an NDDA. He passed his certification, and we hit the road ever since. Yes, good boy, yeah! And then he gets his victory lap in.
Canine officers typically spend 6 to 9 years on the job. Pork Chop has just reached that range, but you can't tell.
I think honestly, his body will give out before his mind does. He'll want to keep doing this job. It's what he loves doing. Every Wednesday when we go to dog training, it's his best day. He's like a bull in a china shop.
When Pork Chop goes home with Officer Atwood, time must be made to bond with Pearl.
She has to come see him every night when we get home. She waits for him right there at the car door just to see him so they can tell each other about their day.
And at Officer Kunz's home?
I don't like to tell people, but he sleeps in the bed. He knows when to turn it on and turn it off when it comes to work. And so he's a bum. He likes to sleep in the bed with us.
Make that a pair of full-time partners. And that's First Responder Friday. Gary Rogers took an unusual path to becoming a first responder. More than 20 years ago, he was a church pastor when the Parker Fire District in Greenville County asked him to be their chaplain.
Had no idea about fire service, no background in fire service at that time, but when I started going to the stations and visiting as a chaplain, I got bit by the firefighting bug.
Rogers got his training and was a volunteer firefighter for 2 decades. About 5 years ago, the Boiling Springs Fire District in Greenville called him with an offer. They made him a battalion chief and the department's full-time chaplain.
It is incredibly unique. It is almost unheard of, perhaps is unheard of in the state of South Carolina.
Rogers listens to radio calls and responds to scenes where he believes he can help the public.
Because a lot of times there's a family member that's there that needs somebody just to be with them. And having fire training, whatever the call may be, I can be with them and I can kind of explain what's going on, what's happening.
Rogers says what he does is a ministry of presence, and it's firefighters themselves who often need his help.
That it's okay now to admit when some of these calls are bothering us. And that is a culture change. That is a shift in thinking, because for so many years, it was not okay to admit that calls bothered you. And that was what we were guilty of for so long. Pack it down and pack it down and pack it down. And if you do that for so long, eventually it's going to come out. And it's going to come out in a very negative way. So talking these things out, kind of a debriefing or a defusing, if you will, it helps to bring it out of us in a positive way.
And Gary, we have a special guest with us.
That's right. This is Battalion Chief John Gilstrap.
Very good to have you here, John. And Vance Mahaffey's here from Benson Hyundai. He's got a presentation.
On behalf of Benson Hyundai and the entire community here, we thank you for your service and what you do. And here's a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you.
And that is First Responder Friday. Those are just some of the people who chose careers with one goal in mind: to help others. You can see new editions of First Responder Friday every week on 7 News in our morning and afternoon newscasts. You can also find all of our previous profiles in the First Responder Friday section of WSPA.com and the 7 News app. And join us here for more episodes of First Responder Friday on WSPA+. I'm Fred Cunningham, and we'll see you next time.